We should be live now. Let me just check on my phone that is working. That we have. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We are live. Well, hello everyone. Thank you guys for being here. This is the second community call that we are doing right now. Today, the idea is to go and do a global review, and the main topic will be about the DWeb. And we also have a special guest with us today. That is Leo from Dusa, that
Yeah,
most
hi
of you
guys.
might know.
Great to be here.
Hello, Leo. I hope you are fine.
Yeah, really happy to be here.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for
We
the
are happy to
invitation,
have you
guys.
also. And we also have Daniel, just as like last time. Just as for a review, as last time I was saying, my name is Jean. I'm the head of marketing at Massa for a few months now, and I'm again with Daniel, our BD manager, for the second episode. And yeah, I think we can just go and dive into the subject. Just as a reminder, so yeah, the idea is to go into more of a general intro about the web. What is it? What it is? What has been done until now? Also, what the different updates that we've had, and then also, of course, talk with Leo, and I think he has a nice demo to show us of something that is powered by Massa, and then we'll go into the future of the web. Uh, I think that's mainly the idea. So I think we could start with the first question. Maybe Daniel, you can give a bit more insight on that, on what is the web for those that don't know.
Yeah, sounds good. So, since we are in the crypto market and some of the people might be more focused on the token than the technology itself, maybe we can start with a little bit of an intro so you guys get all of the context. I'm sure that most of us are aware of everything, but let's do it anyways. So, as you guys might know, the decentralized web is one of our core services and essentially one that is necessary in order to enable true decentralized freedom for the masses, which is our main goal. At Masa, we believe that the web should be unstoppable, permissionless, and fully owned by its users. It's a concept that is very important but has been increasingly neglected in the recent years with governments and corporations that are censoring user data across the wide web. We don't want the DWeb just to be a general service for online applications, though. So this can also be applicable to Web 2 products and also Web 3 security. And some of the main platforms that you might see with this is a lot of the decentralized exchanges, a lot of the lending and borrowing platforms, and many other platforms that are hosting billions of dollars right now and that could be compromised because of their centralized infrastructure that they're using. So DWeb is here exactly for that purpose. Thanks to DWeb, nobody can silence you, no one can control your content, and no one can can charge you endlessly. So a one-time payment is essentially everything that you need to host your platform on DWeb and to keep it online forever. We think this is very important, and we will continue with this goal as far as we can. For today, we have Leo on our live stream, which is one of our main builders on the blockchain. He is one of the owners of Dusa, and this is the most decentralized exchange on Web3 right now. So welcome, Leo.
Thanks again for the invitation, Daniel.
Thank you as well. So maybe we can start off a little bit with maybe an introduction and some general questions. So maybe you can tell us how Dusa came into existence. Why did you come to Massa? And maybe some of the things that the viewers might not be aware of as the general narrative.
Sure. So Dusa started after a hackathon almost 3 years ago from now, like 2.5 years. And globally at Dusa, we're a team really focused on the tech side, which is what impressed us when we first talked with the Massa team. We're really looking at like offering a possibilities that is really following the DeFi ethos that we saw at the start of DeFi and that some of the builders quite forget for now. And we're still seeing some projects proudly believing in those values And for example, the work that the liquidity team is doing is quite unbelievable. Also, what Token Breeze is doing is quite good. But we saw some potential for new innovation in DeFi with the Massa Tech, and we're really liking their offering with the autonomous smart contract. That's when we firstly start talking with them at the Massa Hackathon in Lyon, where we won with a first sort of like V0 of Dusa, which was called, I think, Mass Option. We were playing with Option and the autonomous smart contract. And after that, we started discussing with the team internally. We're a team of 7 at that time, and we think, yeah, the technological value and the value that Massa offers is really interesting. It was quite forgot by the other layer that were available at that time, and we think, yeah, it would be really interesting to be building on Massa and to be able to offer finally something similar than what users can have on centralized exchange, but in a fully decentralized way. And the DWeb was part of that value proposition. It was really important to offer the ability for users to have access to a product that is 100% on-chain, 100% decentralized, from the front-end application to every part of every advanced features on the application. And that's how we started Dusa. And the DWeb release on mainnet a few weeks ago is really like one step closer to be offering that experience to users. Now we are also building DCA with autonomous smart contract, but that would be for another call. So yeah, we're really happy with the DWeb deployments, and we're really happy that users now have the choice depending on what they want, because for now they can use Dusa on traditional web, which is still stored on centralized server. But at the same time, they can also access to the maximum security with a decentralized experience from the front end application to every part of our smart contract. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was to make it fast.
Yeah, I think you put it real well. So you can't really have DWeb without ASC. Otherwise, it doesn't complete the whole circle. And I think you guys are doing it really well. I know that you guys did a lot in 2024. So maybe you can touch on some of the technical advancements that you've had in the past year, because I know you've done a lot, but maybe the other viewers don't know about it.
Yeah, sure. So when we started developing Dusa in 2022, we started with a few iteration, a lot of development in 2023, a lot of beta version. The Massa community was so welcoming. They give us a lot of feedbacks on the different beta. We onboarded a lot of those people inside the Dusa community with a lot of community roles that you can still grab when you're participating in the different beta. For example, some new member are going to be added this week because they give some really interesting feedback during our DCA beta a few days ago. And yeah, that brought us to 2024, the big deployment year. We're really waiting for our mainnet deployment. I think a lot of the people inside the community were waiting for Massa mainnet because the testnet was giving such a smooth experience, and we wanted to be able to have the same thing on mainnet. And fast forward, we were in April. The mainnet was already live since a few months, and that's when we deployed the Dusa core protocol. So we are giving the ability to the users to trade their Massa token against wrap ETH, for example, against USDC. They were also able to trade the different stablecoin that were available through the Ethereum bridge. And we also integrated a layer 2 bridge, which was one of our priority, to be able to have even small wallets to come on the Massa blockchain, to be able to earn a lot of mass thanks to our incentives that were running at that time on Dusa. And we also made Dusa fully permissionless because people can, since I would say June of last year, can create their own pools of Dusa. So anyone can come, launch their own token on Dusa, create their own pools on it. And it was really also an important step for us, because it was really important for us that people can use Dusa in the way they want. They can contribute it, and they can launch their own token without paying a huge fee, like what they can pay on a centralized exchange. And we saw, for example, some builders do that with Altai that I'm seeing in the chat always always a pleasure to see Altai around the ecosystem. He's helping since so long. But yeah, he even launched his own pure token on Dusa, which was the first token launched by a Massa builders, which was really cool. But yeah, and in the end, 2024 was a big year. We also revamped all our DCA order, which led us to the beta that we've done a few days ago. But yeah, it was really cool. But we still needed that last part to the circle, which are our value proposition, like offering Dusa fully on chain with the web, which is really cool to be able to do it since almost a month from now, I think.
Yeah, and we really like to call it the first fully decentralized DEX. That I think that's quite a good name. I was wondering, did you ever had any since the mainnet any attempts of X or I don't know exploits on the platform, something like that you are aware of?
No. To be fair, the only security message that we are receiving is like people spamming with traditional issue that you can see, because there are a lot of people that want to grab some quick money on bug bounty where we do not have really big issues. To be fair, we've been audited by Safer before launching on mainnet, and Safer did an incredible job. That's why we have choose them again a few weeks ago to do the DCA audit, and that's what they are doing at the moment. And I think, for example, being hacked on the centralized server where people are accessing the front end can happen. It still didn't happen to us. We're really lucky on that side, and we're really monitoring everything. But that's why we wanted to offer a fully decentralized possibility for people that want to have the maximum security. Because we saw some case in the past, for example, with huge DeFi protocol that were hacked on the front end. For example, I think Curve was hacked on the front end at one point, and some other protocol had, because on the front end side, it's something you're not fully controlling it. Because on the smart contract side, we've been checking over and over, doing a lot of security assessment, and we know what we are developing. But on the centralized server side, for example, maybe the centralized operator can be hacked on his side. We could have an issue on that side, and that's why we needed to offer different possibilities to the users.
Nice, thank you very much. I wanted to ask that question because I was wondering if we ever had anything on that side. So what maybe you can go a bit more onto the next steps.
Yeah, sure. We definitely have some important steps in the coming months. I think the biggest one that everyone is thinking of is our token launch. We're really building up everything. We're having a lot of discussion with potential partner around that. We're even discussing with you at the foundation around those. So yeah, a lot of work in preparation of the token launch. But before that, our main focus currently is looking forward to the dollar cost average order launch, because to be fair, that's really an important, like, maybe I think the second biggest milestone since our mainnet launch, because it's when we are for the first time deploying on mainnet our core innovation, our primitives, what we are selling to everyone since a few years from now, and we're really looking forward that not only users but even builders are going to be finally able to build on advanced trading order that are not backed by any centralized operators. That for the first time, builder are going to be able to build on top of advanced trading order without having to trust anyone else than the chain, which I think is a really big step forward. And when we will be deploying the DCA order, we will finally have that full circle that you were talking about, Daniel, a few minutes ago. And after that, we're gonna offer more orders to the users, and the goal is also to offer it to as much ecosystem member as possible. So to try to make Dusa multi-chain before the end of the year. I think that's our main goal, but at the same time, our focus stay the same, is offering the best experience for the users as possible, and that pass by answering people on Discord, trying to gather as much feedback as possible, and that's when the community is so much helpful. I'm stating it a lot of the time when I'm doing community calls and either ambassador call, but each feedback that is being given by someone that has used the application is helping us so much, because first of all, for us the builders, is giving us a real feedback on what we have built, what we have spent time. So it's showing us that people are liking the product, are using it, but also it's giving us a point of view that we do not have anymore, because we are focusing on those different features since some years for certain of it. So it's really so much helpful when the community is kind-hearted and is giving constructive feedbacks on everything.
Sounds good. And yeah, maybe besides that, we can do a little bit of a showcase for people if you can. So we can show them some of the features, how Dusa is hosted right now, and how things are operating. Because for some people, DCA and all of these concepts might be a little bit weird until they see them in front of them and they understand that it is CX functionality that is completely decentralized, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, sure. I think I'm going to share my screen for that. It's loading at the moment, but I think the Masa team did the Masa Lab team did an incredible job at simplifying everything on the DWeb side, because we saw the first version of DWeb. We even tested it. We even tested it on Masa Station, and it was much more difficult for any users to be using it, and that's why when we started developing Dusa front end on the web, we think we still need to be available on traditional server, because it's going to be much more easier. But now I can easily state that the DWeb experience is almost the same as what you have on traditional web at the moment. For example, like the biggest one are still listed here. I think Dusa is on those, like right there on the same place. You only need to check here, and you can already access it. For example, I just need to apply to choose a provider. Oh, for example, I'm only going to do dusa.masanetwork.pools, and I can access it right away. I think the only difference is with traditional web at the moment is like the time to load it on the web, which is already quite fast, because for example the Dusa application is already loaded. My wallet is already connected because I connected it before, but I think it took me the same amount of time than on my Google.
We were
So
actually talking with the labs team last week, and there's going to be a fix for this very quickly. I would say in the next few weeks. So yeah, we are aware of that, but yeah, the idea is to make it a lot faster. So even as more websites are still getting upload, we can just have something that gives a better experience on that.
yeah, but to be fair, it's already quite smooth. Like for example, I just clicked on a pool, and it's already loaded. We have a pretty developed application. Like we have so many analytics on it, so many different components, that it is not shocking that it could take more time. And for example, people, when they are already on that page, when they only pasted dusa.masa.network, they already got access to the website quite fast. I think that's so easy to use now that you don't need to download Masa Station or anything else. Like you have access to all our analytics, etc.
Yeah,
And for
that was
example,
one of the points. Yeah, that the idea is that anyone can access it without even having a wallet or connecting anything. So yeah, that's for us. That's a win.
yeah, sure. Yeah. I think that's so easy for every users, but at the same time, it's important to give the people the possibility to choose, because a lot of people are not focused on the security right now. They do not look at how much decentralized they are, but in the long term, the people are definitely going to realize, because they are going to see a lot of different hacks happening on centralized server, a lot of different issues, and we think that that's when the D-Web is going to win a lot. But yeah, it's cool. You see, I think it was pretty smooth to access the application. Like we did it in a couple of seconds, and you are already on chain. Like you are already hosted on Massa mainnet, and yeah, that was pretty smooth, I think.
Nice. Thank you very much for the feedback. Thank you very much for the feedback.
Yeah, I think the concept to some people might be quite simple, like, oh, the website is on chain, whatever. But in reality, it's something very important because this website that might be hosting millions of dollars eventually is going to be fully secured compared to other applications on other blockchains that are hosting hundreds of millions, billions of dollars that could be prone to certain front end hacks. And whenever that happens, you know what happens in the market. Things go south really quickly and people panic and a lot of money can be lost. So having something like this to back you up is really important in our opinion for Web3 applications like Dusa, and of course for Web2 applications, any type of platform website that is trying to host information that doesn't want to be taken offline ever. So yeah, that's kind of the main idea behind all of it.
Yeah,
But
compiling it with the SCs, it's kind of the vision that we have at Massa of being able to deploy a DApp that can live forever. I would say something that is fully decentralized. And I think it's a very nice example, and to have Dusa with us here. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Leo.
thank you, Leo.
I'm really happy to be participating to that because it's really the value that we have at Dusa and what we want to see more in Web3 in the coming years.
It's not a trend. It's something bigger.
Sure, exactly.
But yeah. Is as you wish, Leo. If you want to continue with us, or if you need to head over somewhere, it's as you wish. We have some other subjects to touch with Daniel here. And
Yeah, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone now because I have a meeting in 5 minutes. Was a pleasure to be there with you guys. Always a pleasure to see some member of the community in the chat. Do not hesitate if you want to take part more inside the Dusa community to join us on Discord to follow our socials. And yeah, if you have any feedbacks, if you just want to try something on the application, you have any question, do not hesitate to pass by. It's always a pleasure to discuss with you. And Daniel and Zhao, thanks for the invitation. It was a pleasure to be there with you today, and have a great rest of the live.
thank you very much.
Likewise. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
hopping on.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we're alone again, maybe we can touch on some examples of how D-Web could work in the general market. Some examples that make sense to people, something that they can relate to, and certain things that they've seen in the past for sure, because they've been quite trendy in the recent times.
We are
If you
also
want, you can go
working.
there, Daniel.
We are also working on the website because the idea is that we want to take a deeper look at these main products that we have right now at Massa. Try to explain them in a very good and maybe simple way, something that can talk to everyone. So yeah, I'm quite excited to be able to launch that so that anyone can see. On some of the examples that we want to talk about is not only just to give examples, but also to explain, okay, why is this important? It's not just about the money, it's not just about the hacks, and it's not just about Web3, by the way. For example, only in just 2024, we had, I would say, a lot of examples of this type of stuff. We had Pavel Durov that was arrested in France, and I would say that that's probably one of the most impactful ones because it can, like, it just shows how the creator of something, of a solution, can be held accountable for the solution. It can be a solution that people use. It can be a solution that is beneficial to some people, but then, yeah, for maybe a bad usage at some point, you can have some repercussions, which is I mean, we can or not agree, but yeah, that's one of the things that we are trying to fight also at Masa, and that would be something that we will be very happy to know that maybe in some future, near future, we would be able to okay, just completely erase this type of problem.
Mhm.
Another one was, for example, the pump.fun that was banned in the UK. So I mean, at that point, it was probably the most used app in the whole entire Web3 community, entire Web3 world. So it's a bit weird to have something like that happen at that point. We have some other ones that will also speak a lot to us on another topic. For example, the Brazil um, Supreme Court that banned Twitter. I don't know if it's still the case or not. I don't think so.
I think
But
it
yeah,
was temporary, but yeah.
it was just temporary, but mainly just accusing Elon Musk of not complying during what they call the crackdown on disinformation, which is I find it a bit funny, but whatever. I mean, it's a very relevant topic, I would say, right now. And this is one of the other things that we are trying to tackle at Masa, which is freedom of speech. That's the thing that goes also with Web3. It's not just about the money. It's not just about the depths. It's not just about trading and coins and tokens, etc. It's also about the freedom of speech. That's, I would say, one of the things that this tech is able to give, and uh, and that's what we are going for.
Yeah. And
Some of
I
you,
think
yeah,
I
go
think
on.
on some of these individual topics, you could argue about some of them, whether it was right or not to ban them. If you think about it, any kind of platform can be used for positive or negative purposes. You could
Exactly.
use Twitter for sharing pictures of puppies, or you can use it for very mean stuff. The same thing goes for Telegram. The same thing goes for Pump.fun, which can be used for normal token launches or for complete scams. And the same goes for other platforms where certain owners or developers of the platforms were locked up for several years, like Tornado Cash, which again, you could use that. You could say that it's a privacy app, or you could also say that it's a money laundering app. And it's all things that are kind of in a gray zone in crypto right now and in the general world. And
Mhm.
I don't know if the creators of them should be punished this badly, just because the market hasn't been tested properly. So it is quite sad that their platforms are being taken down, completely locked, and that they're being sent to jail for things that maybe they didn't intend to happen that way.
And also the thing is that it's always easier, I think, to just ban than trying to understand or trying to see what's the real issue. And for me, that's a problem. For me, that's a problem because again, you have sometimes millions of people using this type of depths, this type of solutions, and yeah, just from day to another, in the blink of an eye, you can it just poof disappear. So yeah, I think it's a weird time, especially now that everything is digital. A lot of people use it for this type of stuff. You have some countries also where money is a big issue because fiat is not worth a lot. And when you think about it, then it has a very big impact on people's lives. But so yeah, again, that's I would say the main one of the main subjects about Web3 and crypto and all of this industry where we are at, that we can create solutions for these type of things, for real problems, not just uh, whatever, trying to make money with a new project or trying to raise some more money to do something different and try to create a problem that you want to answer. It's completely different. We have the issues, we have the tech, and that's the idea, is just using the tech for these type of things.
Yep.
um,
And then you also have Web 2 examples of this that are not tied to Web 3 at all. Like, for example, the TikTok ban that has been happening, where USA is essentially fighting against China to try to prove a point. And you also have other platforms like Meta. So you have like Mark Zuckerberg trying to pander to certain political aspects that he wants to be tied into right now, which are things that wouldn't really have to happen at all if they were using the web. So you could have a world where all of these social media platforms would be completely free in the way that they want to present information, and they wouldn't be tied to any governments at all. This is another potential solution down the line. I know that it's not easy. I know that they might be tied to governments anyways, but it's an extra road that they could take to make sure that they are completely decentralized in the information that they present or want to present.
Exactly, and that's the thing also about the web. I think there are some very nice use cases that probably we didn't even think about, but that's the idea. That's the thing.
Yep.
And if people listening, do you have any ideas? We can talk about it. We have again, we have bounties, we have a grant program, and everything is open for everyone. So that's the idea. I was actually also looking, and it was part of why I was questioning Leo on the if he had had any attempts on the X, because just in 2024 there were more than 200 security incidents, and I think the number was around 2 billion lost. So that's your money. That's people's money. That's money of people that are using these apps. So that would be the first use case, I would say, for something like a DEX, like Dusa, and different protocols. That's the idea. We want to help on this, but there are also, of course, many other examples. But yeah, I think it's the idea of giving all these examples is just to show that it's quite insane to think that your creation can get banned in the blink of an eye. That's what we can solve also with decentralization. And yeah, today I think we are quite far away from total internet freedom. I think that's the main word. And again, that's mostly what we are trying to tackle at Masa. That's why we've been building all of this stuff for a few years now. And so that's what I was saying, that the idea is to tie both of these things. If we can tie like Web3 and ASCs on the dApps that are built on Masa, then I think we have a really good shot at having like fully autonomous dApps, and yeah, just to solve these issues because they
Yep.
are here.
Yeah, it's a hard topic to tackle, and the World Wide Web wasn't built in one day. So the decentralized World Wide Web is not going to be built in one day either.
I
But
like
we're making some big steps towards it. So as far as it goes right now for DWeb, we're in
yeah,
quite a good spot. You could say like somewhere half the road of the World Wide Web. So we've created the easy uploader for websites, so people can upload any of their static websites directly onto DWeb and host them very easily. This is so simple that basically anyone can do them as long as they know what they're doing with their website. And we're also working really hard on the DWeb search engine, so people can freely search their MNS websites. And down the line, we're going to keep upgrading this so it can be turned into a fully decentralized search engine for websites, information, and different things that are hosted directly on chain. So they can't be deleted, censored, or manipulated by anyone anywhere. As far as some of the projects that we have right now, we currently have quite a few of them, especially in the past month or so. We found a lot of projects that are really interested in our new narrative that is focused around decentralization very heavily. So we have projects like Adamant, for example, which is a decentralized messenger that is fully hosted on chain and is currently leveraging DWeb for their online hosting so they can have their website on chain and never delete it. So through Adamant, you can send peer-to-peer messages that will never be deleted. Your platform is always going to be online, and you can always be safe that Telegram, Pavel Durov, the French government, or anyone else is not going to take it down. We have platforms like Dusa with Leo that we interviewed earlier in the live stream, which are also doing great strides towards decentralization for decentralized exchanges. We have, for example, platforms that are more niche in the NFT space, like Chameleon, that is leveraging autonomous smart contracts and DWeb at the same time to ensure that the images, the metadata, and everything that is happening for the NFTs are also leveraged into the DWeb side of things. So the images are hosted on chain, the smart contracts are on chain through ASC and automated, so you can make sure that your NFTs are never manipulated by any other people. EvoBot, for example, is also doing things on the ASC and the DWeb side. So we have evolvable NFTs that are managed directly through their profiles, and then we have their website hosted on DWeb. And then we have applications that are more niche for certain purposes that we believe are going to be very important down the line in the future, like Centra, which is going to allow for payments directly on chain, recurring payments, subscriptions. You could think of this as rentals as well for apartments, thousands of different things that you have in the Web 2 world right now that are now available in Web 3. In some cases, some people are working on the decentralized way of doing these things through real world assets right now, but they haven't figured out the part of decentralization that we have on our chain. So through Sintra, you could have all of these rentals, you could have mortgages, you could have essentially anything that is directly managed on chain, fully automated without any entity that can interfere with it. So we think that's a really big thing, and we will keep pushing to make it happen.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, and we hope to see other projects coming up to us, and we are also working a lot on this to try to put as much projects on the web as we can. Again, there are so many ideas that we could try. And yeah, just wanted to say, because I was checking one of the comments about the roadmap, it could be probably something that we can tackle on the next live if you want, but I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
we
worth
can go in depth on it. Yeah.
to just go in, like if it's just going to go on each individual point of the roadmap. I don't see the maybe, but we can discuss about this. If you have any ideas, guys, just you can also just put a comment on the tweet. But yeah, I would also like to have Adamant as an invite, maybe for next time, because I think it's a very good example of what can be done with both of these techs. So yeah, that would be quite nice. And yeah, maybe just to 36 minutes, maybe we can just try to close everything with what do we have planned for the future of DWeb. Some of the ideas that we want to explore to make it probably a much how can I put this, maybe a mass product if we can at some point,
A mass product.
and try to at least make it much simpler for everyone to use and give it other ideas.
Yeah, sure. So in the future, we are looking for DWeb to evolve even more. So we don't just want it to be a platform for static websites to be hosted on. We don't just want it to target decentralized applications. We want it to be potentially a competitor to something like AWS, but we want it to tie as much as possible into decentralization. So we're looking into different avenues right now, and don't quote me on this right now because we're still working on the ideation, the development for it, the financials, and everything else that you might think of. But some of the things that we're looking into right now are service providers, so we can use unused storage from users that will be usable by the masses. Similarly to IPFS, for example, so you could host different types of data in smaller quantities in order to be fully decentralized. We're looking for social platforms and talking to some of them right now to try and do a direct integration so they can have fully decentralized data with no third-party centralization source. Of course, this is quite a difficult topic to tackle because in that case, we will need a lot of hosting storage. So it is a big problem that we're trying to address right now, but we're focusing on it very heavily. We're looking into native integration into Web3 browsers, so platforms where we can have direct integration into MNS services, so people can access our links directly through a browser, and they can have more integrations through wallets and various types of things. Another big thing that we're looking at right now for 2025 is also integrations with CMS platforms. So you could imagine, for example, WordPress, maybe not WordPress itself, but one of the similar platforms where we could essentially offer front-end hosting for their websites, their landing pages, their blogs directly through DWeb, and they can just offer the direct data for that. So that would be a really interesting thing, and we think it would be a very, very easy way for us to reach out to users, both in Web3 and in Web2, because everyone is using landing pages, everyone is using blogs, everyone is using websites in general. So that would be a very good way to make our product more powerful and more popular. And yeah, in the end, we're also looking at decentralized search engines, which we could either build ourselves eventually through a lot of research and work, because it's not an easy topic. Or we have also a few candidates that we're talking to right now that are already doing it to some degree. And we're trying to figure out how decentralized they are and if we can work directly with them to simplify our lives a little bit.
Yeah. Mostly something about privacy. I would say projects that have probably the same values as we have, but but yeah, that's something that we also need in order to make it work that well. Um, okay, okay. I I think I think that's it. Was quite a good community live. I think we went through some of the most important stuff. If you don't have anything else to add, Daniel, then I think we can wrap everything up.
Yeah.
And yeah, and for the next one, as I said, guys, if you have any specific topics that you want to go for, just let us know,
Mhm.
and we'll check everything on our side.
Yeah. I think someone was also asking about other focuses besides DWeb. So we are focusing on other things. As we said in the past in this live, we're also focusing on ASC because they tie in very well together. Not only can you have applications that are hosted directly on chain, but you can also have fully autonomous applications. So you can disappear tomorrow and your platform is going to keep running forever and will be hosted on chain. So no one can take it down and no one can stop the operations on it. So that's another big focus. And we're hoping that for this year, we can figure out a way to bring this to EVM chains as well. So we can use it as a really powerful service that can tie our chain into other chains as well. And we think that's a really killer product if we can do it. But yeah, for wallets and things along those lines, we are working on an internal wallet right now for the chain, a mobile wallet. So hopefully that will be coming out very soon. And yeah,
Yeah,
for the website revamp, things like that, I think Joao mentioned it earlier as well, but we are working on a website rebranding. So it will be tying our
I don't
narrative
want to
a
spoil
lot
anything.
better. It will be tying our narrative a lot better into the goals that we have right now. It will be fully focused around decentralization. It's not going to be any boring Web3 mumbo jumbo blockchain stuff. It will be fully hardcore narrative that makes sense for any user, whether they are Web2, Web3, or in between. It doesn't matter. It's going to click into them essentially instantly.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
That's the idea. And by the way, we also have if any of you are there, I don't know, probably. We have some of the team members that are going to ETH Denver to also talk specifically about these subjects. Maybe that are maybe a bit new for most of the community. The idea is also to test how these things work. So yeah, if you are there, we can also, of course, drop the link on the on the Twitter. But yeah, we have our own side event. You are all invited if you want, of course. And yeah, the
Yeah.
idea is to
DM us.
this. Sorry,
DM us.
DM us. Yeah, you can DM us, and yeah, if you want to be there to be with us, then you are more than welcome. And yeah, I think we can wrap it up here. Again, we don't know when it's going to be the third one. Depends on the subjects. Depends on what we have ready. If it's interesting or not to talk about this stuff. But yeah, we'll let you know in advance, of course.
Yep.
And yeah, thank you very much for being with us, guys. And see you on the next one, I hope.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Joao.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Daniel. See you soon. Bye bye.